Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is the Southern Groyper, and welcome to the channel. I just wanted to make this channel to talk more about events that pertain to America first, or really just events in the news in general that pertain to us as the Groypers, right? And for my first video, I wanted to talk more about this Venezuela situation. So, if you guys haven't heard, President Trump recently, within the past week or so, has gone to Venezuela and he's kidnapped their president. So this operation, according to the military, was pretty bloodless and involved zero casualties for the military. Now, on the face of it, they say that this was for drug trafficking purposes. So obviously, they were saying that fentanyl was coming in from Venezuela. But the thing is, President Trump just straight up said that it was about oil as well. So there's a lot of oil infrastructure there. As you may know, the government there is socialist, and so they nationalized all of the oil infrastructure way back when, probably I think it was under Hugo Chavez, all the way back in the 90s. But yeah, they had that nationalized, and they're literally sitting on billions of barrels of oil as well. So, yeah, President Trump at least was honest about it, but I really think that this is not an America First action. Unlike Nick Fuentes, who supports the action, I don't support the action in this case because I really don't think that it's actually America First, and here's why. So, let's just say, I don't know, Nick Fuentes was the Caesar of America, and America was great. We had taken our country back from Zionist influence, and we had, put our country first, and we made the economic living situation for regular Americans better. Now we were wanting to conquer some foreign countries. Okay, yeah, I could see maybe in that case something like what happened with Venezuela would be warranted if it benefited everyday Americans. But really, this action that happened a few days ago, it doesn't really benefit us. We might see gas prices go down, but really the reason the government took this action is to spread American and thereby Zionist influence to Venezuela. Because if you guys haven't heard, there's very few countries without a Rothschild central bank, and Venezuela is one of them. So obviously, Venezuela was also very hostile to U.S. influence, and they were getting friendly with Russia and China, which, aren't the most friendly towards Israel. And as you may know, our government is lobbied by AIPAC, and most of our senators and representatives actually take money from a foreign government, aka Israel, right? So yeah, I think that this action was mainly just to spread, a puppet government that would be friendly to not only America but Israel to Venezuela. And obviously, this was about the oil. President Trump already said that, but oil companies stand to profit. I mean, they have one of the largest oil reserves in the world. And yeah, oil companies want to share that dough. And also, some that's not really talked about, but apparently Venezuela may have a large Bitcoin reserve as well. We're talking double the size of the United States' current reserve. And the reason they have all this Bitcoin was obviously their economy is pretty bad, their currency is pretty terrible as well. Bitcoin as a finite source of money, right? There's not going to be any more Bitcoin. It's capped at 21 million. And, Bitcoin being safe, right? Being decentralized, kind of being censorship resistant. Bitcoin was a great option for a lot of Venezuelans to put their money into, and obviously the government didn't like that. So the government confiscated a lot of Bitcoin over the years. And yeah, Bitcoin is just going to become more and more strategically important as the dollar collapses. And like I said, Bitcoin is capped. So everybody's trying to get their hands on Bitcoin, including myself. I think you should be buying even just small fractions of Bitcoin. But everybody's trying to get their hands on Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's doing it. More governments are doing it. And yeah, this would be a great way to get a lot more Bitcoin. And if you didn't know, the government already does take Bitcoin, whether it's honeypot operations on the dark web or whether they just take down a criminal on the dark web and they just steal their Bitcoin. That's how the U.S. government got most of its current Bitcoin reserves, so it's not surprising that they went into Venezuela to get some more Bitcoin. And as for that whole cope about, oh, all the fentanyl's coming in from Venezuela, well, actually, that might be a little bit true, but most of the fentanyl that's actually coming in is coming in from Mexico. And the problem is, Mexico is a Zionist occupied government. They're not controlled by a native Mexican like someone whose last name is Rodriguez or someone named Maduro. Their president's last name is Scheinbaum. and we know what kind of group of people that last name belongs to. So yeah, Mexico is a Zionist occupied government, and they're not going to do anything about Mexico. So yeah, really, I think that this operation was to promote Zionist influence in the world. You know, again, they feel like Israel is getting a lot of hate recently, and they really feel like they need to do more to cement their power. They really feel threatened by us, you know, the Groypers. So, yeah, guys, you know, I'm going to keep making videos exposing them. I'm going to keep making videos talking about current events. So, if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. And, yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one.